So we have seen how to read and write the data by using what files, right? Yeah, by using files we have seen how to read and write the Java, right? It's simple. There is one method which is given for us, which is used to read the data. That method is what? The read method. So if you see this, now I'm taking the data from file input stream, by using which I can read the data. File input stream data read. File input stream data read. I'm going to read the data by using this statement, and I want to write the data to a file temp.txt. For that I'm using file output stream and file output stream data, right? It's fine, right? So let us more clearly today we'll see what is this writing and reading operations, how can we perform these things, right? So yesterday I asked you how to take the input from a standard device called as keyboard, and how to take the input from a standard device, how to write the output to a standard device called as console. How can we do these operations? Right? So because all classes which are performing these input and output operations are there inside a IO package, right? But I'm calling a such kind of method which is printing me some data to what control. This is the one which we are using. Now this method is from where? This is a method, right? This is a method, and this method is called by using system.out. What actually the meaning of this, right? So to understand this, now let me open the API. What this mean here? You can use that, absolutely fine, but that is not exactly the same thing. That is fine. That statement is absolutely correct. That is not wrong in that. Yep, that is not wrong, but we'll try to see some other standard way to do it. So because these are the two standard devices, what are the two standard devices for writing up the output and reading the input is keyboard and console. Generally we consider them as standard input and output devices. So for these two devices there is no such class is given for us which does these operations, right? Now we try to see what actually this mean here. Bit confusing concept anyway, right? Whatever the concept I'm going to discuss here now. So what is this program is going to do here? If I execute this program, you'll be seeing this statement, and this statement will be printed onto your console, right? Now that is what it's going to do here. Java C standard IO.java standard IO. Now you can see hello world on the screen, but the question here is how it is printing the hello world onto the screen, right? So as we discussed yesterday, there are different classes are given for us for doing reading and writing operations. Each class in the Java is given for particularly because of different physical devices, whatever we have based on that physical devices, we have given different classes. Yesterday we have seen. So these two classes can do the operations only on files. These classes cannot use to read or write into any other locations. These are only these two classes can be used to read the data, write the data to a file only. Like this we have different classes. For each and every source or destination there is a separate class is given. Now, what is this class here? What is this one here then? What is the meaning of this one, right? So because these two are whatever the physical devices, whatever the devices we are talking about, whatever these things, right? So this keyboard or this console software, whatever we are trying to take here. So for these are the very commonly used, right, things to take the input or to write the output, right? So for this in Java, right, because these are the most commonly used things here. Now for this, the Java, they have defined some standard way of doing this, right? So what is that standard way of doing it? Now first of all, let me check how can you explain this statement. How can you explain this statement? Can you say what is the meaning of this statement? Okay, I'm just opening the lang package. What is the meaning of that? You will understand later. Now my question is, can you say what is the meaning of this? I'm not asking what it is going to do. What is actually the technical meaning of this statement? Technically. What is the technical meaning of this? Have you ever seen such kind of statement? What is the meaning of that statement? Technical meaning. Right? The very simple here. System is what? What is system? Come on, what is system? It's a class from what? No, this one. System. It is a predefined Java class from what? Lang package. I think I have shown you the day. Object class, string class, system class. It is a class. System is a class from lang package. Now what is this out then? What is the meaning of this? System.out. What is the meaning of system.out? No. System is a class. By using class name, what we call from a class? What we call from a class? I am trying to call something from a system class and I am using a class name. What are those things which we call by using class names? Right? Already we have discussed. We call static variables and static methods by using what? Class name. Out is what? It is a static variable. System.out. System is a class and out is a static variable. So we call static things by using the class names. And what is the println here? It is a method. Now what is the meaning of this? Let me use some other simple example to demonstrate it, so that I am going to create my own classes. Class A, I think, is it there? It's already there. Fine, no problem. Control X, new Java file. A normal class here. Now, one method inside a class. How to call this method? Is a very fundamental question. How to call this method? Come on, how to call this method? Creating object of class B. Absolutely correct. Create object for B class. B data. Do something. It is an instance method. Instance method should be called by creating an object for that class. It's fine, right? So you can create an object for that class. That is one way, right? Now I'm going to do something here. Nothing is there inside A class. Very plain Java class I'm taking here. Public class A. I'm going to write what is this statement? What is the meaning of this statement? B is equal to new B. So what is this entire, these 3 lines of code? Can you explain what does this mean? These 3 lines of code. Creating object of type B, right? Right, it's fine. But this B is becomes what? This B is what? That B is what? What is this int I? What is this becomes? Int I becomes what? Int I is equal to 10 becomes for A. If I see from the class point of view, what is this int I becomes? From the class A point of view, what is this int I becomes? What happened? Instance variable, what is there? Am I explaining any new thing? Is instance variable. What is this becomes then? What is this B is equal to new B? What is this becomes? Int I is an instance variable, that's fine. What is this B? B is equal to new B becomes. That is also becomes an instance variable. What is there? It's a very simple. This is integer type, this is B type. Both are same. Data type is different. Both are instance variables of what? Class A. But this is a different object. Object is nothing but a data only. And this is a primitive data, this is user defined data. What is there? Very simple answer. You have to work hard, guys. Class AB. Something, one more class I'm creating here. AB.java. Fine. AB.java, right? Now let's see. Now if I want to call this I from A class, how can I call this I from A class? I want to call this I from A class. How can I call it? Right? So I would like to call I from A class. Create object for A is equals to new A. Instance variable of a class will be called through its object. System data, out data, println of what? A data I. A class instance variable, class A is instance variable, I'm going to call by its object, right? A dot I. Now let me compile AB. Java C, AB dot Java, Java, AB. See there, you got 10. Yes? But the value of I you got it. A class object, through that A class object I am calling instance variable of A. Now in the same way I have one more instance variable. What is this? B. If I call B, what I am going to get here? A dot B means what? What is the meaning of A dot B? A dot B means is A dot B is object of B class. A dot B gives you object of B class. See here, A dot B is nothing but object of B class. That is what here, very simple. A dot B, instance variable of A, and through that if I call B, B is giving me what? Object of B class. Now if I have A dot B, right? Now if I have A dot B, so what is this giving? A dot B is giving me object of B class dot do something, right? So before this, now we call the do something method. Now as you said do something method, if I want to call the do something method, I need to create a B class object because it is from B. B is equal to new B and B data do something. This is a method I have, right? In B class I have a method called as do something. I am trying to call this by using its object. Now it's fine. Compile the B class and execute it. Okay, sorry, I need to compile AB only. B dot do something is not there. It cannot find symbol. B dot do something is the spelling mistake. SOME. Java C, AB dot Java and Java AB. So do something is called. Very simple, right? B class object. Through this I am calling its method. Now so if you want to call the B class methods, you require a B object. Now how I am going to get that B object? Here, what is the meaning of this? A dot B. What is this A dot B? A class object dot B gives me what? A class object dot B. A class object dot B instance variable gives me what? A B object, B class object. A class object dot B. A class object dot I gives me 10. A class object dot I gives me 10. In the same way, A class object dot B gives me B class object. Now through this B class object, what I can do here? I can call a B class method. Yes or no? A dot B. A dot I gives me what? A dot I gives me the data inside it, 10. And in the same way, A dot B gives me what? What is there inside this A dot B? It gives me. What is there inside A dot B? A dot B is having what? B object. Now if it is a B object, through B object I can call what? Do something method. Let me compile this. Saying what? Spelling mistake. THING. Right, it is saying what? A dot B cannot find symbol. Right? AB and AB. See? There is no difference. Conceptually there is no difference. Both are same. If you want to call the method of a class, you require an object. I have created an object here, and as I told you in the while discussing objects, you can create the objects anywhere in the class. Now I am creating an object here, and but this becomes what? Instance variable of class A. This B object becomes an instance variable of A. Now if you want to call the instance variable of a class, you require the object of actual class. So A class object dot B gives you the B class object, and through that A dot B A dot B gives you what? B dot B class object. Through that B class object I am calling do something. Is it, are you understanding this? Technically there is no difference between this statement and this statement. This is directly creating object for what? B class and calling the B class method. This is also creating object. A dot B creates what? B class object. Through that object I am calling what? Do something. So if you want to call this do something, you require object of what? B class. And this is the way I can create. This is the one way I can create the B class object. This is the other way I can create the B class object. Are you following me? Did you understand what I am trying to explain here? Object can be created anywhere. Object is nothing but a data, and data can be created anywhere. No, you did not understand. Say yes or no, guys, so that we can move forward. And I don't think I'm explaining a new concept. It's simple class and instance variables. What is there? This is simple instance variable. This is having primitive data. This is having some other data, some other class data object. Right? If I make this variable as static, now how to call this variable now? If it is a static, if I make this as a static, how to call this? Static int I is equal to 10. How can I call this I now? How can I call this I? Right? Static variables can be directly called through what? Class names. So I can use a dot I. Now how can I call this? Class name dot b. Right? So because it is static, you can directly call it by using class name. Not required a dot b. Instead you can use a dot b dot do something is also correct. Or you can call that variable a dot b. Not required this statement now. Right? Class name, right? Dot static variable. Now class name dot static variable a dot b. What it's giving a dot b? It is giving a b class object. So a dot b dot do something. What is this do something? Do something is a method from a b class, and if I want to call this do something method, I require a b object, and that b object is given by this one a dot b. A class name dot static variable of that class giving you b class object. Right? A is the class and b is the static variable, and this is giving you what? B class object. And through that b class object I am calling this. Right? The same thing here. Now output will be same. There is no change. But the way I am calling these things is different. Simple. First point is, if you want to call the b class method, you require a b object. That is the first fundamental point. That is what we are discussing. This is one. So you can create the b object and you can call it. But I am creating a b class object inside what? A. I am creating a b class object inside what? A. And it is a static variable. So class name dot static variable b gives you object of class b. Through that object I am calling what? Its method. Just method call. And the object is created in some other class. Okay. Is it fine? Yes? Now this is not different from system.out.println, the same thing. System class name dot out is a static variable. So system.out gives you a object. System.out gives you a object. Through that object we are trying to call the method of this one. Right? So before this, let us find where these println methods are. Are they from system class? No. These println methods are from a class called as print stream. Right? What is this print stream? It is a class from IO package. Print stream is a class from IO package, which is of type what? Output stream. So as we know, output streams are used to write the data. Yes or no? Output streams are used to write the data. And this one, print stream is a class. It is one of the output stream. Now see the methods here in this class. Whatever the methods you have, you are using print methods, all are from this class only. Println, println, println. Now my question is, right, what is the class name? Print stream. Class name is print stream. Now if I want to call the methods from print stream class, what should I do? If I want to call the methods of a print stream class, what should I do? Very important interview question for freshers especially. Now this is the class, and in this class I have a method called as what? Print stream. Printlns. All println methods, overloaded methods. While discussing overloading, I have given this example. These overloaded methods are there inside this. Now if I want to call these methods, what is required? Come on, tell me. Println method, if I want to call from this class, what is required? Print stream is a class, println method is from this class. Now if I want to call this instance method from this print stream class, what is required? Right? So require a object of you require object of what? Print stream class. Yes or no? You want to call the method of a class, you require object of that class. So you require a object of print stream class so that you can call all the methods of what? Print stream. Now we see here what is the meaning of that system.out now. System is a class from lang package. System is a class from lang package here. Where is it? Here. Right? And class name dot variable. Whatever you call from a class by using class name, they are becomes what? Static. See here. Static variable. And what is the variable name? Out. System is the class name and out is what? Static variable. Are you seeing? Are you able to see this? What is that class? System is a class system, and out is a static variable. Now system.out, what is it? It is returning system.out returning a object of type what? Print stream. There is one more variable which is returning a object of type what? Print stream. What is that variable? System.error. Can I write it here then? Both are returning me the print streams. Can I write it here like this? See this? So what is the class? System is a class. Dot error is a static variable, right? Just I am using the API. I am not doing any miracle here. System dot error, static variable of a class I can call with the class name, right? Then which is returning me the data of type what? Print stream. So nothing but print stream is a class, object of print stream, right? So print stream object, by using print stream object I can call what? All the methods of print stream. Now what methods I have in the print stream class? Just check for the methods whatever you have in the print stream class, so that you can, we will try to call one or two methods, so that print stream. See, not only println methods, you have append method, right? Clear errors, close, flash, format, lots of methods are there. Print. You can see printf, println, right? Println, right method is also there, right? Let us see. Println. So is it correct? Can I do this? Calls a method of print stream. Is it correct to do? Can I do this? What I am saying, system.error gives me an object, and that object is of type what? Print stream, and println is a method from print stream class. Now if it is correct, then it should also execute for me. Executed. Calls a method from what? Calls a method from print stream. Out. Can I call this? Absolutely the same thing. I am commenting this. Calls a method from a print stream. See? So system.out. What is the meaning of this? System is a class. Out is a static variable. This system.out gives you a object of print stream class, and through that object you can call the methods. Now what are the other methods you have here? See, write method is there. Is it there? What is this? Write method is from print stream class. Now is it possible for me to call like this? Write. W-R-I-T-E. System.out.write. Can I call this? And which takes what data? integer data. Can I call this? Can I run this now? Is it runs? System.out.write. Is it executes for me? Right? So write is a method from printstream class. Right? So write is a method from printstream class. It takes an integer data. If you want to call this method, it requires an object of printstream, and this is how, by using which you can get the object. Let's see what it is going to do for me. Okay, it is writing its equivalent ASCII value 97. Oh, still system.out.write. It's fine. Actually, there is no error for this. There is no error. See, it is not showing you cannot call this method and all. It is absolutely executing fine, but what it is printing onto the console. We'll typecast it to a character. Let's see what it is going to do. No. It's printing nothing. I think I need to do. Again, one more method I am trying to call from the same method, flush. Flush means what? Clear the memory. Let's see. Yes. It is printing, right? If you don't flush it, it will not do printing. See here, 97 I am taking. System.out.write and system.out.flush. How I am able to call these things? What are these methods? Write method is from where? Flush method is from where? Right? So see, very interestingly, these methods are from write method is from printstream class. In the same way, I have flush method. See, flush method is also from what? Printstream class. Can I call close method? Yes, absolutely I can call it. So there are methods. So these are the methods from printstream class, and you can call them. System.out giving you what? System.out giving you the object of printstream. Through this printstream object, you can call all the methods of printstream, and the println methods are from that class only. Println methods are from that class only, right? So system.out.println. So I think println. All are correct. All are correct here. You can call all these methods. Everything is correct. Println method is writing 97, but whereas write method is writing a ASCII value of it. See the difference here. Println as it is writing the content, and write is writing its ASCII value. All are correct. Every method is correct. Your compiler is not raised any error, as at the same time your runtime is also not raised any error, because of all methods are from the same class. What is the meaning of this? Standard output stream. What is the standard output stream? So to define the standard output streams in Java system class, these variables are defined. So system.out is points to a standard device. System.out points to a standard device called as console. Always, whenever you write the data by using system.out, always the data will be returned to what? Console. Yes or no? Right? So this system.out is always points to a standard device called as console. In the same way, there is one more standard variable is given, which points always to a keyboard. What is that object which always points to a keyboard? System.in. What is system.in? System.in always points to a keyboard. How we have objects file input stream, which always refers to a files, file input streams and file output stream. System.out is a standard variable which always points to console, and system.in always points to keyboard. So there is a reason why you pass it inside a scanner class. So system.in means what? Wherever you come across system.in, that is the meaning of what? You want to take the input from a standard device called as keyboard. Right? Getting me? And whenever you system.out means what? You are trying to write the output to a standard device called as what? Console. Now let me do one thing then. Let me take the data from keyboard, and I would like to write it to what? Console. So how can I take the data from keyboard? System dot in, right? What method I should use? So this is the object. What is the system dot in refers to? What is system dot in gives? System is a class and in is what? System class, right? System is a class and in is what is in here? Input stream. In is of type what? Input stream is abstract class. So system dot in, and that input stream class is having what? A method called as read. Yesterday we have seen read method is from input stream class. System dot in dot read. What is this read method is going to give me? It is going to return the data in the form of what? Integer. So what is the meaning of this line here? System dot in dot read. What is the meaning of this line? Trying to take the data from a standard device called as keyboard, and read method reads the data from that keyboard. Now whatever the data I read from keyboard, I would like to write to a console. So how to write? System dot out data println. What I'm going to do? Taking the data from keyboard and writing it to what? Console. And as we discussed yesterday, read method can read only one character at a time. Okay. Are you following me? System.in means what? Points to a standard device called as keyboard. From the keyboard I want to take the data. After taking it, I am storing it into an integer like read method always gives, and I am writing this to what? System.out.read, system.out.write. So this is input stream which reads the data. This is output stream which writes the data. Let us try to run this program. Very two simple statements. Now what is my program? What is my program is going to do here? It is going to try to read the data from what? Keyboard and write the data to console. But this read method throws you an exception, IO exception. So you need to handle it, but I am throwing it. And when you use the classes from IO, you need to import them. Only 2 lines of code here, nothing I am writing. Fine, compiled. See there what it is doing, the cursor. Cursor is waiting for the input. Yes or no? The cursor is waiting for the input. And the input should be given from what? Keyboard. Why? Because I am trying to read the data from keyboard. System.in.read. Right, I am giving E. This is my input. Enter. It is not printed. Why it is not printed? Because if you write, you need to do flush. Or this is what you need to do. You need to do flush here. Then only it prints it. Otherwise, if you don't want to do flush, then go for system.out.println. That's your choice. Now let me save my program and compile and execute it. It's waiting. It's now when I execute, the cursor is waiting there. I'm entering U and it is printed U. Right? I'm entering 1. It is printed 1. Have entered 1. It is printed 1. Right? So it is reading only one character and prints only one character. If you give multiple text also, if you give like this, it reads the first character only. First character. Read method at a time can read only one character. That is what we discussed yesterday. But here what is the difference I have here? This is not a different program. Yesterday's same program here. It is also similar to yesterday's program. What is this? This is also same as yesterday's program. Almost. But the difference is the devices, the reading and writing. Now file, read. See here, what is this? File, read. File, read. And file, write and console, write. Right? So let us do some experiments on this. Now what I want to do here is I want to what we'll do now, I'm going to remove this Instead of this, I'm going to write println. Can I write println here? Absolutely, I can do, right? System.out.println. Now what is this program is going to do? Standard IO dot Java throws you an exception, putting a means what? I am not interested to handle this. Compile this. Same thing, actually there is no change in the program. It's waiting the cursor T and coming out. And it is giving the ASCII value of it. If you want the actual value of this, typecast it to what? Character. Or here itself you typecast it to character, downcast. And store it in character. Anything you can do. Simple Java, right? And print that can be I, but it is a bit easy to read. That's it. D, and it is printing D. Now I want to continuously read. Right? If I want to continuously read, means I'm going to use while loop. And when you want to exit this while loop, I want to continuously read from the keyboard, so that I am putting the statement inside a while loop. Right? What is the meaning of putting the statement inside while loop? I would like to continuously read it. Not only I want to continuously read, whenever I read, I want to print. This is the statement which is printing. Getting me? So if I write while true, what is the meaning of while true here? While loop always will be true. While loop always true here. It never comes out. Right? Yes or no? The simple while loop. While true means never comes out. First it prints, first your program takes the data from keyboard, it converts it to character, then the next statement is while true, it prints that character what is taken, then again it waits for reading. Right? Let me compile this. So it is waiting to take the data, printed, and it is entered into the while loop. Still it is waiting for me to give the data. Printed again in the while loop. It never comes out from the while loop because it is true, always true. If this should come out from the while loop, I need to make it what? False. Then only it is going to come out. Right? It will never come out. Right? Now for this, if I want to make this while loop as false, now I am going to write, if the character which is entered from a keyboard is Q, the character which is entered from a keyboard is Q, until the character which is entered from a keyboard is not Q, then read it. What is this? If this C is Q, then what happens here? Q not equal to Q, it is returns you false, then it is immediately comes out from a while loop. Until the character is not Q, execute it. Until the C is not Q, execute it. Simple. What I am doing here, taking the data from keyboard continuously, and I am checking whether the given character is Q or not. If it is Q, quit. If it is not Q, continue. Right? See here, and if I enter Q, exit. When I entered Q, it is exit. But first time only if I enter Q, it will come out. It will not enter into the while loop. If I enter some other text apart from Q first time, it will not come out. If I enter Q, it will come out. Right? Are you able to follow me? A simple while loop for taking and writing to what? Console. It is reading from what? Console. It is reading from keyboard. It is writing to what? Console. Now my requirement is, clearly hear this, my requirement is, I want to read from keyboard. First thing is I want to read from keyboard. Now I want to write the data to what? A file. So what would be the modification in my program so that I can read the data from keyboard, and the data which I read from keyboard can be written to what? A file. Did you understand what I'm saying? I want to read from keyboard and I want to write it to a file. So what would be the modification in my program? Hmm. No, no, no. So what is the meaning of that? Call file writer. Absolutely. System.out is always points to what? A console only. It never writes to the text to any other way. It can write, but a different way, right? It most of the it is standard output device. That's what I told you, right? Each classes, different classes are given for what? Different purposes. So where I want to write here, so this is the statement which is going to read from the console, but I want to write it to a file. What class which helps me to write the content to a file? The class which is given, which is write to a file, is file output stream. File output stream is the class which is used to write the content to what? A file. Yes or no? Right? Then I am going to create the object for that class. Very simple, because my output device is what? File. New file output stream. Or you can go with what? File writer. Both are valid. Either you can go for file output stream or you can go for file writer. Both are there to write that content. Right? So this is the class which is responsible for writing the content to a file. Now what is that file you want to write? Let's suppose I want to create a file named result.txt file, right? Because it is not there in my directory. Now so this system.out.println is going to write the content to what? Console. No, I don't want to do this. Instead I want to write this to what? A file. Then I need to write file out data write method. I need to use file out dot write. And where is the data stored? Where is the data stored? Inside C. Reading the content, right? Reading the content from keyboard. Now what is this here? See this. It's very simple. Nothing, just I changed. Instead of system.out, I changed the output stream. Reading the content from keyboard, and whatever the content I read from the keyboard, I am storing into C. And where I am passing this C? I am passing this to what? C to a file output stream. Previously I passed it to a system.out console, and this is some other output stream. Then I am going to read it continuously when from keyboard when you enter Q, then until that it is going to write the text to what? File. Okay, is it fine? Nothing there, simple. Instead of system.out, my device is different now. My location is different. So that I have taken the appropriate class to write it. Right? Now I am going to do the same. Let me compile my program. I am entering some text. But see, you don't see anything is printed. Why it is nothing printed here? Why nothing is printed? Only you see your text only. Where all the text is going? Printing text. Into a file. It is writing all the content to a file now. Fine. Now when I press Q, the while loop will quit. Now let's see whether that file is there or not. What is that file? Result, right? Result, where is it? PQRS, on top of this you will find. Yeah. There. Is it the same content which I have written? Alright, let me rerun my program one more time. I am removing entire content here. Nothing is there in the result.txt. Standard IO. Welcome. and Q, quit. See, it is showing you, boss, result.txt is modified. You want to do it? Yes, I want to do it. Got it? So very simple. Writing from, taking the data from a keyboard and writing to a file. System.in input device keyboard, out is file output. If I remove this comment, what happens here? The text will be written to console as well as the text will be written to what? File. Both areas the text will be written. I am writing into both areas, right? Compile this and see. W, return to your console as well as file, return to your console as well as file, same. Q, come out, right? Saying what? Result.txt is changed, but the same content actually, previous and this one. Okay, so this is all. Just you need to change the classes. Now my requirement is I want to read from file. I want to read from file and I want to write it to what? Console. So what would be the change here? Read from file, write it to console. So you have console writing operation here. Console writing is there. I don't want to read from what? Keyboard. So that I want to comment this. And I have console writing here. Absolutely fine. So this is console writing. But if you want to read from a file, instead of this file out, you need to take file in to read it. Then this is prints it, right? So there is a standard statement which is given for us to read the data from a keyboard. This is not how we read it actually, because each time it is giving me only one character. Now if I want to read a text, strings, right? If you want to read the strings here, so what can I do here? If I want to read the strings, this reads you only one text here. Now this is the standard statement which is going to read. So BU, buffered reader. So what is the meaning of buffered reader? It is used to read the data from what? Buffers, temporary memory location. Some read is equals to, buffered read is equals to new buffered reader. So the content I am going to write into a buffer. From that buffer I am going to take it. First, so what is this? This is going to read the data from what? Buffer location. Right? So there is a method called as read line, which is reads the data continuously. Read line, which reads the data continuously as a strings, which directly gives you a string data. Right? So this is used to read the data from what? Buffer, b.readline. But if I want to read the data from a buffer, first of all I need to place the data into a buffer, right or not? Yes or no? If I want to read the data from a buffer, I want to write the data to a buffer, then only I can read it. Now I want to write the data to a buffer through keyboard, right? So just I have created the object for buffer reader class. What is that class? IO buffered reader. Just I am going to take the help of again API. I can directly write that statement, absolutely no problem. But I want you guys to practice with API, so that I am showing you the API. What is that class I am using? Buffered reader. This is the one. Buffered reader. If I want to create the object for this, but there is no argument constructor. Can I write like this? New buffered reader. You cannot write this new buffered reader because there is no constructor which is given, which doesn't take a which definitely accepts a argument, and that argument again of type one more reader, again of type one more reader object. What is the meaning of reader here? It takes a one more reader object, right? So what is that reader object? Can I write one more like this? New buffered reader. Can I write? So any reader object you can pass. So I'm passing one more reader object, that is new input stream reader. What is new input stream reader? It is also a one type of reader. And here I'm going to pass system data in. What is the meaning of this? You will understand. What I'm trying to do here now? What I'm trying to do here? What is the meaning of system dot in here? What is the meaning of system dot in? System dot in is always points to a standard device called as keyboard. From the keyboard, I am trying to store the data into a buffer by using an intermediate class, a bridge class called as what? Input stream reader. This is a bridge class, right? So this is a bridge class here. Just you go through this class API, right? So what is my intention? Overview of what is this statement is going to do? Roughly, I am trying to take the data from what? Keyboard system.in, and I would like to put this data into a buffer. Now whatever the data which is put into a buffer, I want to read it from buffer. So br.read, bread.read, and I want to print it. Again, I want to print it onto console. How to print it onto console here? System.out.println. The data is stored inside str. So this is going to read the text as a string, entire string it is going to read. Previously we have seen only one character it is reading, previous program. Now it can read entire string. See there. I did not use any while loops and all. I did not use any while loops. Taking the data from keyboard, storing into some temporary memory, and from the temporary memory I am trying to read it, and whatever the data I read from that memory I am printing it. This is the recommended mechanism, right? Now if I want to do the same thing, let's suppose, now just give me the answer for this. Try to give this answer. Now there is a class called as print message.java, right? What is this? Print message.java. I want to read this file. My requirement is I want to read this text file. After reading this text file, I want to put this text file into the temporary memory. I want to read this text file, and from this I want to put this all text into what? Buffer reader, and from that buffer reader I want to write it to what? Console. Getting me? Same thing here. What I did here in this program, I have read the data from keyboard, and the data I kept in buffer reader, and from the buffer reader I'm writing it to what? Console. But I don't want to read the data from keyboard. I want to read the data from a file, and that file name is printmessage.java. What I should do here? My requirement is read the data from file, right? So for that I can use a class called as file input stream, or I can go with what? File reader. Both are valid. That is also correct. fr is equals to what? New file reader. Now file reader takes a file name. What is the file name here? What is the file name? Print message.java, right? Print .java, and this whatever the content which is read from this object, I want to place this into what? Buffer reader. So what would be the modification here? Instead of this statement you will see what? Okay, we'll write it separately. Let it be like this. That is used to write read and write from keyboard. Now what I want to do here, read the text from a file and place into what? Buffer. So here I need to pass fr. What is the meaning of fr here? File reader. File reader object reads from this, and after reading it, it kept into what? Buffer, and from that buffer I am reading it. After reading the content from a buffer, I am writing it to what? I am writing it to console. System.out means what? Console. So that I'm commenting these 3 lines here. Just reading and writing operations. Nothing is there. Now the same buffered reader is going to read the data from what? Java file. From a file. File reader object I kept into buffer, and from the buffer I am reading and I am printing onto console. Reading and writing both are there. Let me compile whether it is fine. Only one line. See, public class print message. This one you got. If I want to read entire file, did you get this message? Public class read file. If I want to read entire file, what should I do here? You need to use a while. Again, entire file until it reaches to end. Same, I am not doing any right, I am not changing anything. str until str not equals to null. Let me check whether it works or not and read it. Read continuously when file reaches, because it is a object. Previously is -1 because that is a integer. This is the object. Object test we do with null until it reaches to null. If it is not null, read it. If it is null, stop it. Yes. What I did here? What is internal mechanism? Read from file, write it to temporary memory location, and from the temporary memory location read the data and write it to what? Console. System.out is console. When I have see, I did not change my program. If you see these two different statements here, what is the change? The change is the input device is changed. Here the input device is keyboard and here the input device is file, but operation is same. Okay, but the operation is same. Yes or no? Here I am reading from a keyboard input device, and here I am reading from a input device called as file, and both cases I am trying to write it to what? Console only. Getting me? Just I am creating the construct, I am creating the objects for appropriate classes. That's it. I am not doing anything here. Now if I want to read from a file, file input stream or file reader. If I want to write it to a file, write file writer. If I want to take from a keyboard, system.in. If I want to write it to a console, system.out. Just I am creating the objects. Simple. I am not doing any miracles here. Different devices. See, if I want to read from a buffer, I am using buffered reader. If I want to read from a file, I am using file reader. If I want to read from a keyboard, I am using system.in. All can do what? Reading operations. Now instead of system, if I want to write to a buffer, what should I do here? Instead of system, like system.out means what? Console. Instead of writing it to a console, if I want to write it to buffer, what should I do here? Right? Because my output device is what? Buffer. Then you need to take buffered writer. What is that class? Temporary memory location. If you want to write the data to a temporary memory location, take it buffered writer. There is a class which is event which writes the content to what? Buffers, temporary memories. Just you need to go through the API. That's it. But the operations are same. Reading and writing operations only I'm performing here. Right? So if you have any doubts, you can ask. Right? So if you have any doubts, you can ask now. Right? So in this API, not only like there are some other classes which can help you. There is one more class here. So not only the classes you have for reading and writing operations, all classes do the same here. So there is one class is given, this Java 1.6 class, I think, console class, latest class in the Java 1.6, which can directly read the data from what console. And as you said, scanner class is also there, which is also can do for you. There is 1.5 class. Directly it can read the data from what console, console.read, but you cannot directly create the object for this class. You cannot directly create the object for this class. There is no constructor is given to create the object for this console class, right? So which is also same as system.in. No, what is it? Console, reading from text from what? Directly console class 1.6 new class, but you cannot directly create the object for this. So if you want to do this, I think you can take the help of again system class. System dot, there is a method called as console, I think. System dot console gives you a console object. I think it is the same class which is gives you a console object. Let me compile this. Let's see, is it correct or wrong? Error, wire, misplaced while loop. System dot static method, so that I am calling directly through class name. Fine, right? Then console dot read line directly gives you what? String. Same thing, reading from a console. So if I want to read from a console, first of all I need to enter I got it. Same text, console.readline 1.6 class. So like this, all classes are for the same purpose, read and write, nothing difference here. So there is one class which can be used. What is this file again? What is this file class can do for you? Right? So up to now we have seen different classes which performs the operations on files, right? So but those classes performs the operations for reading and writing only, but this class is not for reading and writing, right? This class is file class, which is meant for doing file level operations. What is the meaning of file level operations, right? So creating files, right, or creating directories, right, checking whether the file is there or not, right, whether the file is there in the hard disk or not. Like this kind of operations which is going to perform by this class, making a file as a read-only file or hidden file or write-only. So such kind of operations you can perform by using this class. What is that class? File class. One of the important class here. Import. Again, because I'm using the classes from this package, IO. Right? So file f is equals to new file, but it is not creates, reads and writes. This class is not for reading and writing. It is for creating the files or deleting the files, checking the files are exist or not. Now let's suppose I want to check whether a file is called as test.txt is there or not. Now how can I check here? Now there is system.out.println. There is a method called as, I think, is exist or exist. I think exist only, not is exist. File example data Java. Let's see, I have a doubt. So what is that method? So I am creating a file object by using a constructor C. You can give the path also, entire path you can give for a file while you create it. This object you can give entire file as a file path as a string. All right. Now, so you can check whether it is executable file or it is a readable file, or is it possible to write, and you can compare, create new file. What it is going to do here, if it is going to create a new file for you, right? So like this, delete the file, delete on exit, equals, it is what exists, not is exists, exists. Exist checks what? Test whether the file or directory denoted by this path is there or not. If it is there, it returns you true. If it is not there, it returns you what? False. Exists. Exists, I think. Let me run my program. Java C file example.java, and saying what? It is not there. What it is saying? Boss, you don't have a file with the name test.txt. Right? Now you can see one directory is there in my folder, online classes. What is that folder I have? Pack1. Let's suppose I want to test whether the pack1 is there or not. Pack1 is a directory, right? Let me test whether it is there or not. Yes, it is there. Yes, it is saying what? It is there. Pack2 saying, it says what now? No, pack2 is not there. If it is not there, what I want to do here? Exists. It returns you what? Pack2 is not there, false. Then not exist. If it is not exist, create it. What is it I want to create? F dot make directory. What is the meaning of make directory? It creates you a directory. Right? It is going to create you a directory. First it checks whether it is there or not. If it is there, it will not create it. Not there. Not exist. Then create it. Make directory. I think, yes, it's correct. That is executed. Now let's see whether it is created or not. See, you can see pack2 is created. Okay. Yes? Is it created or not? It is created. Now let's suppose I would like to delete it. Right? What I want to do here, because it is already there, it will not enter into this. Then F dot delete. So what I am trying to do here, if it is not there, create it. It is there. If it is there, delete it. Already it is there, right? Already it is there. Then what it is going to do here? It is going to delete it. Let's see. Refresh it. It has deleted. There is no pack2 now. It is deleted. You can physically go and you can check it also in your hard disk. That is hard disk directory structure only. There is no pack2, only pack1. Right? If it is there, it is not there, right? Then it is going to create it. Is it created? Definitely it is created, but somewhere in the end. No, not created. Okay, let me compile it. Oh, I compiled it. I did not execute it. Sorry. See, it is created. Pack2. Because it is already there, it is going to delete it. Removed. Like this, if you want to make file level operations. Now, if you want to see all the files which are there inside what? In this, right? What is the method which is there if you want to see get path? What is the path of this? And all you can get. Let's suppose I want to get the path of this file. What is my file here? A.java. A.java. Right? And I'm commenting this. Get me the path. System.out.println of f dot get absolute path. Is it the method get absolute path? Absolute path. Yeah, it's correct. Absolute means what? From starting to ending. From beginning to ending. Right? Is it the path? A.java files path. E online classes. A.java. Right? Yes. Absolute path from starting to ending. Like this you have some methods. Get free space. How much space you have. Get the name of the file. Get the parent of this. Parent means what? Parent folder. Right? Like this you have different methods. You can check is file or is directory. Is it a file or it is a directory? Is hidden file? No. Length of the file. List. List is going to do what? List method is going to do what? List of files. How many files are there in the directory? What is that? Let's suppose I want to pass e colon online classes. I want to see how many files are there in this. So f dot list, and it returns you all the names of the files, string array, in the form of what? String array. File list. Names of the files, just names of the files it is going to return you. Then array, right? When you have array, you need to iterate through this. For index is 0, array, right? Same thing. Index less than file list dot length index plus plus. Then print it. List method lists all the files whatever you have in your directory. F list, file list of index. Okay, and very important, it will not allow you this escape, this file separator. This will not allow this file separator. Generally file separator is used like this, or you can use double slashes. This is treated as what? File separator. Java will not allow you that file separator. Either you go for a backward slash or 2 forward slashes. Two backward slashes or 1 forward slash. You can go for this. Fine. See, these are all the files which I have in my directory, right or not? All Java and .class files. List of files. If you want to test the files, let's suppose on my desktop. If I want to see the files on my desktop, how should I get the path of that desktop? Copy the path. It gives me only desktop. I want entire path, then only I can get it. What it is copied? No, it is not. C:/user/administrator / desktop generally. Let me check whether if the path is correct, it will give. It's compiled. Null pointer exception because the path is wrong. It's administrator desktop only. Null pointer. What is that path I have given? C. Users, not user. Users. Fine. Right? See that. These are all content which I have on my desktop. Daily report status, something, jar files and all. If you want to see, you can see my desktop as it is. You will see all that text. Libraries, admin. Only it is listed you, I think, the files, not the directories. Copy of report, e-healthcare, some hibernate, like this. You have some text. You can see all. Hibernate, right? So like this. So this is what we have as well. I think it is listed you the directories also. Yes, directories also there. This is the directory Vijeta, student is the directory, SAMP is the directory, PPT is the directory. All these are what? Directories. So this is how you can perform file read write operations, and but this is not file reading and writing operations, it is file level operations. If you want to make a file as read only file or only, right, all you can do. Creating the directories and all, making a file as executable file, all you can do. Making a file as a readable file, only readable, only writable, like this, right? So is there one more class you have inside this? So nothing is there, all classes are used for the same purpose, right? So this is what you have, right? So one more important concept is there. Let's see if I find some time, we'll discuss it. That is called as serialization, reading and writing from the objects. It takes some time required for me to discuss that. Right, so I'm stopping the session today. If you have any doubts, you can ask.